Woo! Son of a bitch, I did it. I did it, motherfucker. I did it. I don't know if you can hear the spiked up tone, but woohoo, I did it. I fucking did it. I did it. I ain't gonna tell you what I did. Fuck you. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve. You're not on the same level as I am to know what I did. But I'm just kidding. I will tell you what I did. Whew, I can't breathe. About to have a stroke. That's what I did. Anyways, I finally fucking finished book 3. Whew. Holy Christ. You understand, I don't have a lot to be proud of. Like, in general, just at all. I mean, I'm literally living in my own filth, and the dog filth, and the dog poop on the floor. It's basically my life. So when I actually accomplish something, it's a big deal. Like, reality-shattering big deal. Like, CERN, Hadron Collider bullshit, Mandela Effect, Otherworld, Alternate Universe bullshit, big deal, okay? You have to understand that, and I think you do. Now, I don't mean to be playing it up, but it is what it is, and I done did it, okay? Anyways, whew, now I don't want this to be just, I'm going to talk about the book bullshit and go through the chapters again. But, yeah, I fucking did it. I absolutely did it, and I'm very proud of myself for doing it. I will go over the new chapters that I added. I changed the one title. I basically took a title from one. I just liked the title. And again, like I said in that last clip, the title is Going to the Movies, Hobbits on Parade. It means nothing. I just like it, and I don't know why. I've just kind of, it's become part of, the lexicon, so to speak. It's like, it's just a chapter. And it had nothing to do with where I put it. So what I did is I changed the title of where I had it, and then I put it where I actually talked about the Hobbit going through the old woman's movies and picking out what she wanted. So it actually made sense, going to the movies, Hobbits on Parade, where she's sitting there thrusting her authority out and be like, I'm going to take all these fucking movies that belong to your mother, fuck you. So it actually made more sense. It actually worked out in a really good way. Because originally the way I had it set up was going to the movies was essentially talking about going to Gene's little 4th of July party for the British people. Don't ask, don't even get in, don't even question that. Don't even question that. She set up a 4th of July picnic with tables and streamers and banners. She had 2 outhouses with one had American flags wrapped around it, and the other had a British flag wrapped around the other one. There was a goddamn pony wearing a T-shirt with an American flag on it. The whole thing was insane. Which was kind of like, that's what I was referring to going to the movies. Like, I went to see this fucked up show. It was like a live event. Whatever. And this one, I came home and the Hobbit cut off the internet for 2 weeks and shit, and whatever. I don't want to get into all that. So anyways, I changed the title of the original story to Gene's Little 4th of July Fuck Party in September. That's what I named it. Now I don't really like using the word fuck in the title, but the fuck party had to be there. It did I say the F word anywhere else? I don't think I did. Yeah, I don't think I did. I think it was the only time in like the title that I said fuck. Yeah, I did. No, there was another one. Dale T. Little Oink Fucker of a Man. So there's two chapters with the word fuck in it. But this one had to be Gene's Little 4th of July fuck party in September. I'm sorry, it just has to be. I know. I know, like in the first book, like every other word was the F word, and we did have to tone that down. And that's something I want to talk about too. I didn't really add the F word a lot. It's probably I have to. I actually have to figure out how, because I'm not even sure how to do it on pages, but I'll have to go through and do like a word search and see how many times the F word shows up. But I was what's the word? I was more toned down this time, and where I did use it, it was necessary. It was like in a Lewis Black sort of way, like DLT little oink fucker of a man. That right there was like a Lewis Black kind of a thing. And Gene's little fuck party, again, same thing. There was the Hobbit Shrink, Mary Fuck Joe. You know, little things like that. Oh, no, there was another one too. Where was it? Oh, DOT's Little Fuck Inferno too. Okay, so there's three in the title. That's right, like at the end of the book, where I started not to give a fuck. You know, because I was trying to be. Cause you have to understand the tone. At first, it was like, okay, I'm not into DLT dating, but as long as he doesn't bring it to the house, I don't care. Do what you want to do. Just don't involve me. And then all of a sudden, they started to involve me. And I warned them, and I said it wasn't going to happen. And they brought it on themselves. So I wanted the tone to change a little bit. But anyways, so we got Gene's little 4th of July fuck party in September. Then we have the appearing area of Sauron, the Veil of Depression overtakes the Shire. Piss bottles relieving thyself. Then we have leaving the Shire for Brandywine. The journey begins. Again, there's a Lord of the Ring theme, obviously, because she's the Hobbit. Going to the movies, Hobbits on Parade. That's when they were essentially going to jettison me from the house. This is my favorite title. I'm not going to lie, this is my favorite title. Favorite book chapter title. And it's quote unquote, she said I pissed in her shoes. And that's all that's going to be said. And then the last chapter. Now, this one definitely needs some tweaking. But I tried to give you an idea what I wanted to go with. Because this is leaving the house. Because eventually she said I pissed in her shoes and she kicked me out. And then we're packing up my stuff. We're getting in the car. We're driving, and we're going to Graham's for the very first time. That's where it's going to end. That's where book 3 is going to end. Book 4 is going to pick up. You know, probably even that next day, where I talk about going to the store because I got here, there's no food. You know, that's probably where book 4 is going to start. It's going to pick up like right after this. That's why the epilogue is Graham and the Big Whaler, a trip to BK. So it's just it's kind of like a foreshadowing of book 4. That's kind of the point, which is something I've been doing. It's something I've consciously been doing for like the last couple books, book 2 and book 3, and now into book 4. Because book 4 is going to be the end. It's going to be like right up to today. You know, whatever. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, this last title is, again, I want to keep with the Lord of the Ring theme. So it's talking about me getting there, me getting here, I should say. Like my first, like I've just left the house, I've got a few things packed, and I'm ready to go. I'm here now. So it's entitled, right now currently, and this is, again, subject to change, Making It Safely to Brandywine to meet Gramdolf. Yes, Gramdolf. The Fellowship must decide what to do going forward. Okay, again, there's some tweakage there. I don't know exactly what to do with that, but you get where I'm going. Making It Safely to Brandywine. Because obviously, I don't want to give my actual home address, so we're just calling it Brandywine for the sake of argument. You know, Making It Safely to Brandywine to meet Gramdolf, which I love that. I love Gramdolf. Because in there's this one section where I talk about when she came to visit the house. She came to the Shire to visit the house. Okay. Her and Cousin Mary packed up in the 1992 Buick, and they drove to the house. And Graham's got this little disposable camera that she picked up at Rite Aid, and she's taking pictures of the house, going, "Oh, Peter, the house is beautiful, Peter." Because that's when all the work had been done. Like, all the work had been done, most of it, 90% of it had been done. A few things here that are in the back, molding and stuff like that, but the bulk of it, the kitchen, the living room, the dining room, most of was done. And of course, the siding that Graham had paid for, that 10 grand that she wasted. Fucking depressing on that, but whatever. Yeah, because there was a whole kit and caboodle with that bullshit too. Because what happened, Graham didn't want to pay for the whole thing, so they were going to side only two sides of the house. Now, if they had done red siding, because we were in a red house at the time, probably would have been okay to do only two sides of it, the two sides facing the road, because it was just too expensive right there. Well, the white is cheaper, so they wanted to go with the white siding, which, oh God, that still irritates me to this day. The white siding, it's just so commercial and bullshit, but whatever. Because, you know, Red House is like our identity. We're the Red House across the street from Nice and Easy. You know, whatever. But she ended up finagling. She sold some property, whatever. And she wasted the 10 grand and ended up doing this. And of course, literally like hours, days, weeks, months later, Dale T, Vic's Gene, so on and so forth. Whatever. And then kicks me to the curb. So, whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, she wanted to show up. And I swear to God, I was standing in the dining room, looking out the window. And this is weeks before I was forced to leave. Honest to God, she looked like the Emperor showing up at the Death Star. Like that one scene where, you know, where Vader announces that, you know, the Emperor's coming, you know, oh, then we would double our efforts, you know, that kind of, that moment. That's exactly what that was like. And it was like, she looked like Yoda, but you put her in a black coat and take away her walking cane and give her a lightsaber, I swear to Christ, it looked just like the Emperor. She looked just like the Emperor. And she's coming to oversee everything. It was absolutely hysterically funny. That's the first thought that I had. And so I mentioned that, and I talked about that in the book. So that was actually pretty funny. So referring to her as Gramdolph, too, as well, was kind of funny. Gramdolph. Whatever. But yeah, I wanted to keep with the Lord of the Rings theme. Now, I admit, at the beginning, I didn't really do anything with the Lord of the Rings theme. I didn't do anything at all. The closest thing I did was chapter, let's see, one, two, three, 4, 5, 6 in when I did the. He did it for the cupboards in The Glory of Mordor's Riches. Again, I will say it every fucking time I do a clip. I love that fucking title. It's not the most innovative title. I will agree with that. But just the Glory of Mordor's Riches part, it's just absolutely. Because you understand, Betsy, she was buying everything. She was buying all this stuff and just going on shopping sprees and shit and buying Dale T riding lawnmowers and bullshit. And so it was, you know, he basically, Dale T was like, what's his name there? And he was, you know, looking for the precious. That's exactly what that shit was. The cupboards basically in that situation were the precious. It was the ring to rule them all. And then he eventually got married, and then it was the whole ring to rule them all thing there. So there was this really great little Lord of the Rings kick in the dick with this whole book, this whole sequence of just insanity. But anyways, I've got the bulk of it done. I am almost at 60. I'm like 400 words shy of 60,000. Now I haven't added in the quotes yet because each chapter is going to have at least one or two quotes. So I'll probably have close by the time that's done. Yeah, by the time that's done, I'm going to be close to 60,000 words. I'm at 113 pages right now. Now keep in mind, I just compiled it. I haven't actually gone back through it. I may even take some stuff out. I may add some stuff. I may add like whole chapters. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know at that point. I haven't mentally got my mind around it. I got 21%. I'm doing this clip, so it won't be today, or at least not right now. I'll probably have to wait until this fucking thing charges again. But I'm gonna have to go back from point A right at the very beginning and just read the whole thing and just, you know, whatever. But the base of it, the wire frame of it is done. It's completed, and I'm happy about that. Now, I was thinking, I do have two prologues, and the second prologue, the falling into the septic tank, might actually work better in book 4. But I don't want to take away from that. Because like right now, I don't have a prologue for book 4. But actually, you know what? I might have one, now that I think about it. I don't know. No, I'm going to keep it the way it is. I like the idea of having two prologues. I don't know why. I don't know. That excites me, having two prologues, and I don't know why. Because you got to understand, it's. And I've talked about this before, but the first one is the life and death, Clifford and the whole take care of the boy, and then just a few years later, I'm in the septic tank and Dale T's bucking teeth out, looking at me, while the old woman screams. It's just the contrast between the two. I like the way that works. Now again, a lot of these titles can be tweaked, and a lot of these titles can be like some of them I think are pretty well set in stone. Like the day my father's fornication destroyed us all. Now you could probably do like a colon, you know, the day my father's fornication destroyed us all, blah blah blah. You know, something like that. You could maybe add something to the end of it, but for the most part, I think a lot of these are fairly good. Again, they may be punctuational or tweaked or different words added in and taken out, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I think I think the base is there. Like for example, the day my father took off and abandoned me, leaving me for dead with only a hope and a dream in my heart and some old bologna in the fridge. That is fucking, that is glorious right there. You have to admit that is glorious. The whole old bologna in the fridge part. You know, like if you want to add that kind of stuff to some of these, that's great. Um, like Ollie the Wonder Dog is no more, loss of a good friend. That one's kind of boring. You could probably tweak that. Um, Deconstruction, reconstruction, living in the house that hell built. I love the concept of that hell built. I don't know why. Happy Trails, Hans. Gene's last day with us. You could probably add something to that. I don't know what. An anal reflection and the shit to come. You can maybe tweak that a little bit. I was thinking maybe something like the. I wanted to throw in rectal bleeding because the whole situation was just like a just rippage moment, you know. But that might be a little gross. Like anal reflection, rectal bleeding, and more shit to come, or something like that. I don't know, whatever. Because it was the beginning of the end, and I want to express that in the, you know, filthiness of the concept, just because. But I mean, you could tweak that, change it, whatever. I'm not really married to very few. The ones, you know, the ones I'm married to, like he did it for Mordor's Riches, things like that. Then we have part one, Love Lies, Family Ties That Unbind. I like that for some reason. That seems very me-ish. Like that seems like it fits with book one very well. Love Lies, Family Ties That Unbind. I don't know. I like that one. Again, Day My Father's Fornication Destroyed Us All, which is pretty funny. Now, I know you're all liberal and shit, so I use... Two chapters have the word dykes in them, and... You can't take away dykes and candy corn lights. Sorry. You can't take that away from me. Dykes and candy corn lights. You cannot take that away from me. Now, the next chapter under that is dumpster diving dykes, which... I could probably live. You could probably tweak that one. I don't want to, but you probably could. But dykes and candy corn lights. You cannot take that one from me. Okay, you seriously. You took the queer in the handbag from me in book one, and I did not. To this day, it irritates me that you called him the queen. That irritates me. The whole thing, the queen in the handbag. It lost its sensibility, and that was the whole point of it. Because you gotta understand, we were Republicans back then. So it was just one of those. I don't want to be politically correct. Okay, I just don't. You can't take away my dikes and candy corn lights. You just can't. I am married to that one. Again, dumpster diving dikes. I don't know. I don't know how you could change it to have the concept of lesbian butchmen. Dumpster diving lesbian butchmen. I mean, maybe you could go that route, but I like the word dyke. I just do. I'm not saying it necessarily offensively. It's just it's a word that some people really find funny and some find really offensive, and that's why I like it because it works both ways. I don't know. I am slightly married to the Committee of Three. No four. Wait, it's five. Just because I think it's interesting. I don't know why, but actually I do know why. I like it. I'm kind of committed to that one. The Uninvited. Then of course we have the Uninvited too, kind of like Metallica's Unforgiven 2, only with a point. Again, you could tweak that, but then there's the chapter Why Can't We Be Friends? And then I quote the song, Why Can't We Be Friends? Why can't we be friends? That fucking song. And the whole thing, I don't know. But that one kind of, I don't know. Let's see, Deathbed Confessions. The week I had pneumonia, nobody cared. That one's kind of, I don't think there's any really much you can do with that one. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. The Day That the Hobbit Cries Foul. That one you could probably work up a little bit. You can change it a little bit. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't really know where you can go with that one, but it's where she ran off and cried to her mother and blah blah blah. The Day That I Realized My Father Loves a Homeless Guy More Than Me. Maybe you could add something toward the end of that. I don't know. And again, this I love this long run-on fucking sentence. The day I went out and found a half-naked homeless man standing in my kitchen with his arm elbow deep in a jar of pickles talking about hay as if it were some sort of greeting. I love that fucking run-on. It's just... I know it's probably not ideal. I can't help it. I can't help it. You can tweak it, maybe slightly, but I like where it goes. I like where it's headed. What happens in Vegas didn't stay in Vegas. Talk about the fucking marriage. Dear Christ. Don't use an oink fucker of a man. I like the term oink fucker. Because, well, the original story, I don't even want to get into that, but we got. Now, one thing I do want to point out, there's multiple handwritten letters here. And each one is set up differently. As far as spacing and stuff. Now, what I did is I tried to make it look exactly like it looked in real life. So DLT's is only like 4 or 5 words long, and then it skips down to the next sentence where Cousin Renee's was a typed thing, and it was, written like a normal letter. Jean's was kind of all fucked up. So they're going to look different, and they look exactly the way they were presented to to reality. So I want to try to keep that, even though it may not be your typical proper way to do it. I want to try to keep that if possible. So, and I also did a different font too. I thought it was kind of interesting to have a different font for the handwritten letters, where I actually did like a handwriting font. I don't know if that works, especially for a couple of them that are longer. Like Jean's is a little bit longer, and Cousin Renee's is a little bit longer. I don't really want to change that, but if I have to, fine. Let's see. Grandma's upset and she ain't having it no more. Really, I don't know where you could go with that one, but maybe you could tweak that one specifically. Dale TV, like Primetime, only dumber. I actually like that one. Terms of departure is just very simple, straightforward. You could probably tweak something there, but I don't know. Jean's little 4th of July fuck party in September. There's really much else you can do. You probably could take out the word fuck, but I prefer not to. Yeah, Graham and the Big Whaler, our trip to BK. Really, it really isn't any way to tweak any of those. I mean, you could, but you end up fucking it up. Um, let's see, part two, dissension in the ranks and more bullshit in the making. That one you could probably tweak up a little bit. The day Jean flips out, goes ballistic, and loses her mind, and poodle figurines. Trying to think what else is there. Now, part three, when Christ looked down from the cross, said it is finished. He wasn't kidding. That you probably come up with a whole other new topic for if you want. I don't know. If you like it, fine. That one you could tweak and come up with your own. I was going with it's the end of the book. It's the end of a era. So Christ said it is finished, and he basically died. It was kind of like I'm in the same place. It's like it is finished. It's over. You know. Whatever. I don't. That's where I was going. That's the thought process. But like he said it is finished. He wasn't kidding. And then it goes right into Dale T's little fucking infernal. Oink fucker of a man. Cousin Renee's letter to Dale T. Grandma's upset. It goes right into all that. Terms of departure. 4th of July fuck party. It goes right into all that bullshit. See, how many chapters do I have? I have 2 prologues, so there's technically 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. I have 40 chapters. That ain't bad. Shit, that ain't bad. Now, I will admit there's a couple. There's like 2 that are like super short. I don't know like what the proper length of a chapter is supposed to be. There's a couple that are super short. I don't know if there's something we can add to them. But they're only a couple paragraphs. But I wanted to separate them from the main story. Just, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what to, I wasn't sure what to do with those. But they're key components, but I wanted them to stand out a little bit more. I just wish they had been longer. But to be fair, I haven't gone back and actually reread it. So maybe when I reread it, I can add more to it, add a couple more paragraphs, make it a little bit longer. There'll be short chapters, but maybe I can bulk them up a little bit. I don't know. Again, I haven't done that yet, but I'm just speaking as I'm thinking of it right now. So yeah, there's about 40 chapters, about 60,000 words, and probably by the time it's all done, close to 135, 50 pages. That ain't bad. I don't think that's bad at all, especially because you gotta understand, I pretty much had part 1 completed, part 2 was mostly completed, and then part 3, I only had a handful of chapters, and I was like nearing the end, and I was only at like 62 pages. I was like, holy shit. And somehow all of a sudden I like boom went right up to fucking 113 pages, and then, you know. Now to be fair, I did bulk up the text to font 12. I had it down to 10. So if 12 is standard, you know, that's where a lot of that came from. And then again, also this doesn't include the table of contents because I have the table of contents separated so I can see it easier. So there's basically table of contents on like one page, which actually I think goes to like 2 pages. So there's an extra 2 pages right there. So now actually I'm up to 115 pages, just that. If I add the table of contents, and then by the time we space everything and add in the quotes, I mean, shit, that's got to be at least 30, 35, 40 pages, close to 50. I mean, yeah, because by the time you space everything, and that doesn't even include formatting it to book format either. So shit, yeah, but there's definitely 150 pages there. Because I'm doing this just as whatever the standard page is on Pages. So again, you set it up for a book. Shit. 150-page book, that is not too bad, I don't think. And I'm shooting for another 150 for book 4 as well. Because what was book 2? I think book 3 was 133 or 139 pages, something like that. Book 2 was like 220, I think. And then book 3 is 150, which it's a little lax. It's kind of going down, but I know we could probably mix book 3 and 4 together, but I like the separation of the two because they're two different things. They're literally two different moments in reality. You understand, this was a whole lifetime ago for me. And the stuff that's going on now is completely different than what was going on there, so I really like the separation. Plus, it's just cool to have 4 books, you know. And I'm also 4 chapters into book 4, so very happy about that too. But that one's gonna take a long time because I have no infrastructure for that yet. I have to like mentally think about all that shit, go back to it, all the crazy shit with Graham and going to the window and Peter, all that fucking bullshit. Oh, that's gonna be insane going through that and having to mentally relive all that stuff. That is just gonna be whack. It's gonna be crazy. Oh my god. But dude, when you put the 4 together, now I don't know. I mean, obviously it's my life, so I care about it. But like, I don't know if other people are gonna care about it. Like seriously, pass this shit out when it's ready. Pass it out and let people read it because I want to get like feedback and shit. Because I'm curious what other people think about it. Because again, obviously I care, and obviously to a point you care because A, you're part of it, and 2, you know, I'm just a fucking loser that for some reason you stuck around with. So whatever. But hey, that's on you. That's more on you than it is me. So whatever. But again, you put the 3 together. I think they're really good. Now, like I said, book 3 does not have any filler at all. There's no filler. There's no talking about the Comans. Talking about. I may actually save that for book 4. I'm probably gonna need some filler for book 4. Although I guess we could fill here, but I don't know where to put any of it. I mean, literally each chapter goes. It tells a cohesive story, and if you take a chapter and break it off and be like, oh, here's the. Maybe I could do a 4th part in the middle. I don't know, let me think about that. What if I did a 4th part in the middle and told the story of like the Comans and kind of like broke it up. So it's like Act 1, Act 2 is just some random shit, and then Act 3 is the essence of it all. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I kind of like it the way it is. And I don't want to do the end. No, I like the way the end ends. Book 3. But I don't know. Maybe because what I'll probably do is just like some last minute stories where it's like I want to talk about these people. I still want to talk about the woman of the 5 kind. Maybe I'll add that with like the Comans, where it's like these weird church people. Maybe I'll do a whole chapter of just weird church people. Because I did it because book 3 is a completely different thing. I intentionally tried to do something different than the first 2, because book 2 is basically, you know, like the Godfather Part 2 of the first one. Okay, yes, I'm comparing it to that. I think it was that good. Now I completely fucked in the head. I think it was because it's one thing I purposely kept in mind. I wanted a really good sequel. I wanted to start off continuously going from where the last one left off, and giving more of the same, and then getting into the whole story of the old woman dying, the whole 9, and going into this whole other, you know, life change basically. And there was other stories like the Bolster's Pond, where I talk about the old woman in Dale T getting baptized in this putrid fucking pond, this handmade fucking pond that John Bolster had made. He basically dug this pit and had these like tarps and filled it with water, and it was like this swampy shit, putrid brown fuck water. Of course, like an idiot, like a kid, I was swimming in that shit. Ugh. You know, the whole church from the Assembly of God comes over, and There's Dale T standing there nut deep in the fucking water. Is Dave Clark and Pastor Gary Wallen dunks him backwards into the fucking water. And then there was the whole story about Dale T getting slain in this. I love that fucking story. I absolutely love it where he fell down and he was too embarrassed to get up. Oh my god, that whole story was fucking hysterically funny. There's definitely some classic shit in book 2. And then book 3 is just because one thing I didn't want to do, but I had to do, is be a little nasty to people. Because like right now it's kind of over. They're giving me like $100 for Christmas and shit. And it's like I don't want them to read this and be like, "Oh, fuck him, he ain't getting $100 anymore." You know, like I didn't want to dredge up the past, but I had to tell the fucking story. I absolutely did. I mean, I absolutely had to tell a story. This is because I want to get into the Graham stuff too. I want to get into living here and all that stuff. Dude, the amount of shit that's happened in the last 10 years for somebody who doesn't leave the fucking house is just absolutely crazily insane. Absolutely insane. And I need to talk about that shit. First, it's therapeutic, and second of all, I think it's interesting enough that people might want to read it. And even if they don't, at this point for book 4, I actually don't care. If people care to read it, I just want to get it out and be like, I've accomplished this kind of a deal. Like, I told the story of my family. I've chronicled this shit, and that's the end of it. Because book 4 is going to be the end. I've already deemed that. It's going to be the end of the whole thing. I mean, dude, there'd have to be some serious crazy shit going on for me to actually be able to muster up a 5th book. I don't think there would be. Now, if there ever was a 5th book, I think it would be more political. Actually, I think that'd be a fun book, because I used to be Republican. Now I don't want to say I'm progressive. I'm not progressive per se, but I'm not Republican anymore. Let's put it that way. I'm not liberal. I don't know what I am. So I'm kind of, there's a transition. I think it'd be a really interesting discussion, especially from like the Christian point of view, and all the clips that I do about the rapture and shit. I would like to get in that kind of stuff and actually do a book on that stuff. So I don't know, but that's shit. That's probably another 10 years down the road. I'll probably be dead by then. Like you probably have to take some of the clips and transcribe that shit and make a book later after I'm dead. Bastard. Why you can't do it now? But hey, whatever. But I think we could do a really good book that way. And you could add your own little 2 cents in there. You could even write your own stuff. Actually, I think that'd be kind of cool. You know what? I did a clip about this a long time ago. I think it'd actually be really cool to get a couple of us together, like you, me, your wife, Dan, even some of your friends that you've got, and actually just write what we feel about politics and shit. I think it'd be an interesting little kick in the day. You know, and have it be something that, like, I know that you're professional, bullshit. You don't really want to be associated with me saying fuck the fucker in the asshole until he bleeds and dies. Obviously, as Mr. Professor, you don't want to be a part of that. You don't want to be part of dumpster diving dykes. I get that. Dykes and candy corn lights. I get that. I understand that. But if we did this where it was just kind of an open-ended thing and everybody just kind of wrote a little chapter or two, a couple chapters, I think we'd have a really cool book, especially if we did an Amazon Kindle. Shit, I think it'd be cool. Split whatever profits, if there were any. I don't know, man. I think it'd be kind of cool. I mean, it would save me having to write an entire book. You could have your little 2 cents chime in there. I mean, shit, you post fucking Facebook stuff. What? I mean, how long would it take you to write a page or two? A chapter or two? I mean, seriously. Now, actually, you'd have to edit my stuff too, but whatever. But I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool, actually, and get a different perspective. Get like a woman's perspective. Get, my perspective. You're a professional. Get your perspective. I don't know. I think that'd be really, really cool. I mean, I don't know if you're interested in that, but yeah, that'd be kind of cool, actually. I'd read that shit. I'd totally read that shit. I don't read books, so I barely even read mine. Seriously. You gotta understand, The fucking books that I've read in my life, I'm almost upset with. I don't know if it's actually a book, but I did read a few things in high school. I read Animal Farm, loved it. I read Beowulf, loved it. I tried to get into the Shakespeare stuff that they forced us to read. I thought it was cool. I just couldn't, the earth, though, blah blah blah. It was like reading the Bible. I couldn't figure it out. Um, but in my adult life, I haven't read a lot of books. I haven't. I'm not a reader. Well, first off, I have a fourth grade fucking reading education from the freaking public school system, but that's neither here nor fuck there. Honestly, I've read Jim Baker's fucking book after he got out of prison. Actually, I think he was still in prison at the time. After the whole PTL situation, I read it. The only reason I read it is because we had it, because the Christian bookstore was giving away a bunch of books and shit. It was like, here's a huge box, give us $10, you can take it. And my mother's like, oh, sure. Huh. And I scarfed it up and read it because I was curious, about what he had to say about the situations. I read Jim motherfucking Baker's book. I read that one. And then I read the entire Left Behind series, all 12 issues or whatever, 10 issues, whatever the fuck it was. And when I think about those are the books that I've read, it really hurts me as a human being. You know? Like, I want to pride myself as somebody who knows how to play chess. And not like Big Blue, but I'm not bad at playing chess. It's very sophisticated and very classy. And it's like, I like that I know how to play chess. I like that I like classical music. Now, obviously, I like other kind of music too, but, I like the fact that I can dig that, Where some people are just, they're not sophisticated enough to, and I don't mean it in a haughty sort of way, but you know what I'm talking about. There's like the upstate New York people, the Trump voters, basically. You know, they're not going to be into that kind of stuff, typically. So, yeah, I pride myself on being like that. And then I think about the fact that I'm not a well-read person. Although, to be fair, no, actually, I did read a couple of the books. I read, when I first got my Kindle. What did I read? Oh, I read, I was reading the Wizard of Oz books. That's right. I read those. So, okay, I read the Wizard of Oz books, Left Behind, and Jim fucking Baker. It's just, when I think about that, I'm an unread motherfucker. It just makes me feel like one of those unwashed masses type people, and I feel bad about that. I do. I feel bad about that. Makes me feel bad as a person. You know? Not that I want to be like, feel superior to other people, although I am in a lot of ways to many people, mentally at least, to a lot of fucking people. That's neither here nor there. I mean, seriously, the fucking guy who sits in his own fucking filth in his own room because he's crippled and can't fucking move and it hurts to fucking think. I've got a better grasp on the reality than most fucking people. And here's a newsflash: the caravan, it's not a threat to American society. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Whatever. The caravan crisis, they say on Fox News. Fuck you. I think crisis, the fact you're a propagandist piece of shit. I don't want to get into that stuff. I got 9%, and this thing's going to kick off at like 5, so this clip's going to end pretty quick. But again, that's stuff we could talk about in like a book 5 potential. You know? I don't know. I think that would be a really cool idea. I think you really should give it a thought. Like, really, really give it a little look-see. Because you wouldn't have to write an entire book. I wouldn't have to write an entire book. Well, we'd have to probably compile it, and you'd probably have to do the work. Obviously, I feel bad for that, but hell, I don't know. Maybe your wife would be interested in something like that. I don't know if she'd be interested in like helping with that. I don't know, but I definitely, if she'd be interested in like writing something, that'd be very cool. And again, I know you got other friends and shit, so get a group of us together. Late 30s, early 40s, and what do we think about the world? I think it'd be a really cool fucking book, actually. And shit, you probably got stuff you've already written. I mean, you write stuff all the time. You probably got stuff you can think, oh, I could just throw that in. You probably already got it done, so fuck you. I don't know. I think that'd be a really cool thing. Because I know for a fact we do not agree with the shit that our church told us. Like, we're heathens, essentially. And I think that would make a really, really good book, going against what the church said. That right there, I mean, that could be what it's called, going against the church, you know? Fuck the Republicans or whatever, you know? Now, I'm not going to hold back. Like, if I want to say the word fuck, I'm going to say the word fuck. So I don't want to offend anybody. Like, oh, I don't want to be associated with that. Well, you know, like, each section could be, you know, this is written by so-and-so. Blah. Their opinion. It could be a little title with a little disclaimer, you know. You know, like they do with the movies. Like, this is their opinion, and it doesn't reflect on everybody in particular. You know, and everybody can have their own opinion. Like, you know, hey, I hate gays, and obviously we wouldn't do that. But you get my point. Now, that might be a little. That may not have been a good example, but you know what I mean. Or like, that's whatever. You get my point. You get my meaning. Where anybody can basically say what they want to say, and it doesn't necessarily reflect on everybody else. Because I understand as a professional, you don't want to be associated with, again, candy corn lights and dykes. I get that. Dykes and candy corn lights. Dude, that is a fucking great title. You have to admit, you can sit there and be all liberal and bullshit. Dykes and candy corn lights is a great fucking title. And you know deep down inside, that is a great title. And you are deep down inside excited for that title. You know, your mental capacity, your liberalism bullshit might be like, might automatically put up a fucking wall, like you're Donald Trump or some shit. Okay, I understand that. I understand it. But deep down inside, once you put all that aside and you read it for what it is, you know you're enjoying it. And that's what it's about. That's what I hope my work is about. For people to put away all their bullshit, read about my bullshit, and just be like, I'm glad I ain't him. Anyways, I gotta end this because we're at 6%. God, this fucking battery in this tablet is absolute balls, I swear to God. Anyways, whew, after doing a 3-hour clip, I'm doing another 47 minutes. I think it's good. So anyways, fuck you.